There was a ritual so feared that even hardened Viking warriors prayed they would never be chosen to perform it. Not because it was illegal, not because it failed, but because once you began, there was no turning back. The Vikings are often remembered for battle, steel, fire, raids across cold seas. But war was only one part of their world. Behind the shields and longships was something quieter, a belief that the gods were always watching, and that some acts were not about victory, but about judgment. Among their many rituals, there was one whispered about, not celebrated, a punishment so rare that most warriors would never see it. A ritual tied to honor, revenge, and divine approval. Some say it was used only for the worst enemies. Others believe it was more symbolic than real. And some historians argue it may have happened far more often than we're comfortable admitting. The mystery isn't whether the Vikings were capable of cruelty. The mystery is this: why did even they fear this ritual? Picture a Viking settlement at dawn. The sea is calm, smoke rises from hearths. Men and women move quietly, avoiding one place in the village. In the center stands a wooden platform, not for celebration, not for trade, but for judgment. The man who stands accused is not weak. He may have fought bravely once, but he broke something sacred. Perhaps he betrayed his own kin. Perhaps he killed a leader in secret. Perhaps his actions brought shame so deep that blood alone could not wash it away. This is not a public execution like others. There is no cheering, no laughter, only silence. The elders have spoken. The gods must be satisfied. And that is when the ritual is named. Not shouted, not announced. It passes from mouth to mouth like a sickness. The blood eagle. Even hearing the words changes the air. Because this ritual is not just about death. It is about how someone dies. And why. The Vikings believed that courage at the moment of death mattered. That how you faced your end could echo into the afterlife. Most executions were quick, a blade, a rope, an ending. But the blood eagle was different. It was not meant for everyone. Only for those whose crimes demanded a message, a warning, a balance restored. And here is where many warriors began to hesitate. Because performing this ritual required more than strength. It required belief. The executioner was not just killing a man. He was acting as a bridge between the living world and the gods. If done wrong, the punishment could rebound. The gods were not forgiving of mistakes. The accused is brought forward. He knows what this means. And yet, according to the sagas, he does something strange. He does not beg, because begging would mean fear, and fear would mean dishonor. Instead, he stands still. Not because he is brave, but because this ritual demands stillness from everyone involved. The crowd watches, but they do not move closer. Some turn away. Some whisper prayers, because what happens next is not meant for casual eyes. The executioner steps forward. This is no ordinary warrior. He is chosen carefully. Someone trusted. Someone believed to have steady hands and a strong spirit. Even then, many refused. Some warriors would fight 10 battles without blinking, but would not take this role. Because once you begin, you carry the weight forever. The ritual begins with precision, not rage, not cruelty. Control. The Vikings believed chaos offended the gods. Everything must be deliberate, slow, measured. The victim is bound, not tightly, just enough to keep him from falling. Because the ritual requires him upright, aware, witnessing his own judgment. Here is where the stories diverge. Some say the victim was given a chance to speak. Others say silence was required. But all agree on one thing. The goal was not torture. The goal was transformation. The blood eagle was meant to turn a man into an offering, an image, a symbol of consequence. The executioner begins. Every movement is watched, not just by the crowd, but by the gods. This is why warriors feared performing it. One slip, one mistake, and the ritual fails. A failed ritual was worse than no ritual at all, because it meant the gods rejected the offering, and rejection invited disaster, famine, storms, defeat in war. The executioner works carefully. The crowd listens, not for screams, but for something else. Breath. As long as the victim breathes, the ritual is considered valid. When the breath stops, it must already be complete. Some accounts say the victim was expected to endure without crying out, not because it reduced pain, but because it proved courage. A man who faced this ritual without breaking was believed to earn a place among the honored dead, even as punishment. There was still a twisted form of respect, and this is the part that unsettles historians, because it suggests the ritual was not only about cruelty, it was about belief, a shared understanding that honor mattered more than life, that fear was more dangerous than pain, that shame could poison an entire community if left unpunished. The executioner finishes. He steps back. No one speaks. The body is left on display, not to humiliate, but to remind. This is what happens when sacred bonds are broken. This is what it costs. And then comes the part few talk about. The executioner does not celebrate. He does not boast. Often, he leaves the settlement soon after, some for days, some forever, because performing the blood eagle changed you. You carried the memory, the responsibility, the fear that maybe, just maybe, the gods were not pleased. There are stories of executioners who never fought again, who refused leadership, who avoided the sea, not because they were weak, but because they had stood too close to something final, something that could not be undone. And even among the Vikings, that was terrifying. The blood eagle did what it was meant to do. It restored order, but it also left scars, not on the victim alone, but on everyone who witnessed it. Children remembered the silence, the way adults wouldn't speak that night, the way even strong men avoided the platform afterward. Fear was not a failure in Viking culture. It was a warning system, a reminder that some lines, once crossed, demanded a price too high to justify revenge alone. Over time, the ritual became rarer, not because Vikings became softer, but because they understood its cost. You could win battles with steel, but rituals like this, they stayed with you. They followed you into sleep, into dreams, into prayers. And perhaps that is why the blood eagle faded into legend. Not erased, not denied, but remembered with unease. Because even in a world shaped by violence, there were acts considered too heavy to repeat often. Some historians believe the blood eagle was exaggerated, a myth grown darker over time. Others argue the opposite, that it was real, and rarer precisely because it worked. Because fear kept people in line long after the ritual itself disappeared. And here's the unsettling thought. If a society believes strongly enough that the gods demand order, how far will people go to maintain it? The Vikings believed honor survived death, but perhaps the real question is this: what kind of fear must exist for warriors to beg never to be the one holding the blade?